Good morning. Today we have Dario Zanatta here with us. He's a player for Raith Rovers. So, good morning, Dario.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Yeah, excited.
When did you start playing football?
I've played almost all my life. I started when I was 4 years old. Both my parents played football when they grew up and throughout their lives, so it was installed at a young age.
Definitely when you have. So, who inspired you when you were younger? Was it your parents, or did you have anyone else you looked up to?
Yeah, it was definitely my parents. My dad was definitely probably my biggest inspiration growing up in terms of football. You know what I mean? So when I was back in Canada, he was a coach. He used to coach me when I was younger, so I took my inspiration from that.
Uh, when you were 18, you signed your first professional contract after, like, obviously, you've just mentioned playing in Canada and everything,
Yeah.
with Hearts and joined the under 20s side. But then went on to make your first team debut in the Premiership on 31st of October. What does
Mhm.
it feel to get that opportunity at a young age, and being new to the team?
Yeah, it was huge. Of course, as you say, I came over at the start of that season with Hearts, and I was mostly involved with just the under 20s, and then after the first month or two, I got to train with the first team a little bit more. I ended up getting into a few of the squads, and then on Halloween, yeah, October 31st, I made my debut against Partick, which was a really cool moment. It was we won 4-0 also, so it was a really good day.
Definitely like a good day to make your debut, and you got like a good couple minutes in it as well.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't just like the 90th minute or anything like that. I think came on somewhere between the 70th and 80th. So it's a game I'll never forget, of course.
Definitely. Throughout your time at Hearts, you had various loan spells at clubs like Queen's Park and Alloa Athletic. How did these spells help you develop as a player?
They're huge. Whenever I speak to young boys, they're at clubs. I always say that if you get on loan, it's probably the best thing you can do if you're not going to be involved with the first team. Um, After my first season at Hearts, I wasn't going to probably get as many appearances as I'd like to. So to go play in the lower leagues and play every week it was so much more beneficial than just sitting at Hearts and playing for the under 20s, which is, of course, they're good games, but they're not the same as playing first team competitive games.
You also had like the opportunity, like that first season, especially. You got like, I think it was something like 15 games or
Yeah,
something with Hearts.
roughly about that.
So
Mhm.
you've had the opportunity to develop in like different first teams, like throughout your
Yeah.
time here. Last season you were at Air United. It was a bit atypical due to COVID. How
Mhm.
hard was it to go to both home and away games and not see any fans in the stands at all?
Yeah, it's so much different. You don't even realize it really. Especially now having fans back, you don't realize how important they actually are to the game, and how much better and more enjoyable it is to play in front of them. As you say, like going even to away games, it didn't feel like an away game. You almost felt as if I felt lots of it felt as like practice matches in a sense, because you can hear everything. There's no fans yelling at you, giving you a bit of abuse if you go to an away game or anything like that. So, um, of course, it was good to continue playing throughout the whole COVID incidents and all that stuff, but you definitely miss the fans massively, and it's so much better having them back now.
I think I spoke to a lot of people like throughout the time, and everybody said to me that like home and away games just felt the same because there was
Mhm.
nobody there, so it didn't make a difference whether you were at home or away.
Yeah, I think that showed in a lot of the leagues that lots of teams were actually a lot better away from home last season, because they probably didn't have the pressure of playing in front of in a more hostile environment necessarily, or something that they're not used to, of course. So in that sense, it was good because you didn't have as much pressure maybe to play away, but at the same time, it's nowhere near as enjoyable without having the fans there.
Definitely. You signed a pre-contract for Raith in March, but in the
Mhm.
2017-18 season, you had already had two loan spells at the club. What made you
Mhm.
decide you wanted to come back?
For myself, it was I was certain I wanted to come back after I played against Raith last season with Ayr United. Just seeing how Raith played and how good they were in possession, how enjoyable it looked for them. It was made clear to me that they were interested through the gaffer and a few of the boys. So I knew all about the club, of course, from being there previously, and I've never had worked under the gaffer at the time, John McGlynn, but after watching them play, I thought, that's something I want to be involved in, and it looked enjoyable. So when I found out they were interested, I was really keen to get it just organized.
Looking at the season they had, obviously Raith had a great season last year. When you signed a pre-contract, did you feel any pressure of having to do the same again this season? Because obviously fans will be expecting the same or better this season. Yeah,
of course. You always want to build on previous seasons when it goes positively. Of course, I wasn't there last year, so it's not necessarily as much pressure on me, I don't think, in that sense. But of course, you want to come in and do better than the players that they had last season, of course. So for myself and the boys, everybody knows that it's this league is wide open this season, in the sense that there's no real dominant favorites like there has been the previous seasons with Hearts and teams like that. So I definitely think that if we continue from our results against Aberdeen, and we can push on from there and have a really good season.
How have you found your time back at Raith so far?
I've loved it so far, honestly. All the boys have been really good with me in the sense of making me feel welcome, and the manager's been even better than I even expected. He's so attentive to all the details and preparation to games and the style of play every day in training. We work on it. It's not as if it's just it's not by fluke that we play enjoyable football to watch. That's for sure. Every day we work on it and stuff like that. So basically, yeah, I've enjoyed every moment so far.
This league campaign has kicked off just as good as it was last year, with playing really good football. Unfortunately, the score's not been as good as you want it. How frustrating is it to see that the team and yourself are putting in the right effort, are playing really good football, but you're not getting the results you want?
Yeah, of course, the first game against Hamilton there, when we're 4-0 up, it's unexcusable to drop the 2 points there. If we win that game, we're probably in a lot more of a comfortable position, in the league, of course. Or I know it's early, but if you could have got the 3 points there, that makes it a bit more calming going into the Inverness away. Inverness away is a tough game for everybody. So we knew the front end of the schedule was going to be tough, and then going into Dunfermline, a rival game. So, but it's still so early, and we've done so well in the cup so far. So I think there's still been, I know we haven't got 3 points yet, but it's been a positive start this season in terms of the cup and going on from there.
Yeah, definitely. And throughout those 2 games so far, you've shown really good football. You just want the results to come along with it as well. Looking at those 2 games, and obviously looking at the cup campaign and pre-season friendlies and everything, how do you see a team towards the rest of the season?
Say it again, sorry.
Looking at the first 2 games, the cup campaign and the pre-season friendlies, how do you see the team towards the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think we need to be really positive. Of course, the Bedford Cup's gone. It's gone, or Premier Cup, sorry, I don't know what's the name of it. It's been really positive in the sense that we've competed against Livingston, who are a Premiership quality team, Aberdeen also. So I think for myself and I know for a lot of the boys, we're really optimistic that we can have a really positive season and be in the same type of area, if not better. That's what we're shooting for, of course, to be in those playoff type of area again this season.
I think looking at what the team has done so far, I think it will be a good season.
Yeah, definitely.
The cup campaign so far has been great, like we've already mentioned, and you managed to get a 2-1 win against Aberdeen on Sunday. After that great game, what impact does it have on the team's feeling towards Friday's game?
Yeah, I think it was huge, honestly. Of course, as you say, the first 2 league games probably didn't go as planned in terms of picking up 3 points, and then if you're looking at it, it would have been maybe a tough game going into Aberdeen before we have another big important league game. So the fact that we've picked up 3 points, the fact that we've gone through against Aberdeen is huge, and I think it's going to give everybody at the club, the fans, the players, a real big lift going into a very important game Friday, of course.
Yeah. Against Aberdeen, you got the winner in the 71st minute. What does it feel to be able to help your team out with a goal at a game like Sunday's?
Yeah, it's as I was saying before, it's probably one of the best feelings I've had in football in my professional career. You know what I mean? Those are the type of games that everyone's looking forward to playing on TV with a big crowd there, and to get the, of course you don't know what's going to be the winner at the time, but to score an important goal like I did is something that it's really hard to explain to other people, in the sense that the thrill it gives you. Do you know what I mean? And to see the way the fans all react and your teammates, it's a really surreal feeling, and it's something that is one of the big reasons you want to play football, and that's why I wanted to be an attacker when I was a kid. You know what I mean? To get in those type of positions and score goals.
Like it's certainly like seeing. I was watching it from home, but seeing like the fans, the atmosphere at the stadium from even from my own house, like seeing it on TV, it looked brilliant. And obviously getting that goal against a team like Aberdeen, it was a brilliant game. Yeah. You have been drawn against Celtic for the quarterfinals. How excited are you for this game, and how big is a draw like this for Raith? Yeah. Of course, Celtic and Rangers are the two big clubs in the country. You know what I mean, that everybody wants to do well against. So, of course, you'd maybe prefer if you'd save that game for make it to the finals against them, of course, or something like that. But to get the chance to go to Celtic Park and play in front of probably 50,000 people is huge. And of course, it's big for the club in the sense that if we could pull something off that people could remember for a while, that'd be awesome. In a game like that against Celtic, would you prefer to play at home, like with your own supporters and stuff, or would you prefer to go away? And obviously, like you mentioned, you've got 50,000 supporters in the stands with you. Yeah, it's a good question in the sense of I've only been on the bench at Celtic Park, so I've never actually had the experience to play and actually get the chance to play in front of all those fans. So if I'm being greedy in the sense that, of course, you do want to experience that in your career and see what it's like, but to play a game like that at home would have been huge too. You know what I mean? To have probably a bit more of the Raith fans able to be there, which would have been nice. But look, we're excited to play in those type of games, and we'll see what happens, really. Yeah. What message do you have for Rovers fans? The biggest message I've say is I've really enjoyed my time so far being back, and I'm hopeful that I can score a few more goals throughout the season and be a positive player, and really hopefully the fans can really get behind me and the team, and we can have a real positive go at the season. I think that we've got all the chance to make this a really positive season with the manager, the squad he's built, and I think there's a real good feeling around the club at the moment. Yeah, like is looking at social media just today after the game, like it just showed like the amount of backing the team has, especially after like yesterday's game and everything. Yeah, no, definitely. My phone was blown up quite a bit on Twitter and all that stuff from fans being really supportive and really positive messages, which is always nice to read. So hopefully we're having lots more moments like that this season. Hopefully. Yeah. You've had the opportunity to play with Canada at youth levels. What does it feel to get the opportunity to put on that jersey and represent your country? I really enjoyed every moment I got to whenever I played for the youth teams in Canada. Of course, when everyone wants to play for their country, and of course I still have aspirations to hopefully one day get the chance to play for the men's team. But at the moment, I'm probably just focusing on my club football. At the moment, I know that that's every player, they'd be lying if they didn't say they want to play for their national team at some stage. So of course it's been nice to have the experience when I was younger, and I'm hoping that maybe one day down the road I get that chance again. I think everybody, like, since like all the kids that want to play football since they're young, I think more than looking at big clubs, they always look at like getting the opportunity to play for their country. And at least I know a lot of people who have said to me, I wish I'd get a chance to represent my country at least at youth level. But yeah, getting to first team is a huge thing. So hopefully that happens for you as well.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, I've been privileged to be called up for the youth teams, and now hopefully a good season here, and then we'll see what happens after that.
How what does football mean to you in your everyday life?
Yeah, football is my it is my everyday life in the sense that it's my job, and I don't look at it as a job. Of course, you look at it as something you enjoy. All the boys will say that how much they enjoy being in the environment of a change of environment with a good group of guys around you is enjoyable. I've always enjoyed just playing football, and it's something that I don't think will ever leave me. So hopefully we can have a good season together and we go from there.
So I'm guessing it has a huge impact on your everyday life as well. Obviously, like you said, it's your job, and you don't really take it as your job because it's something you love doing. Yeah. But it's a huge part of your life.
Yeah, definitely. So, as you say, a bad result on the weekend will probably ruin your weekend. Do you know what I mean? In that sense, even if I'm the type of guy that if I lose in training, I'm not too pleased about stuff like that. So of course it's something that all the boys constantly talk about in the car when we travel to training. Football is probably the easiest topic to talk about. So it's huge, of course, for all of us. You know what I mean? We take this all really seriously, and it's something that, of course, it's probably your life revolves around it.
Yeah, definitely. What advice would you give to kids who want to take football as their career path?
I would say just to make sure you're always enjoying it. You know what I mean? There's no pressure. I don't think that if you don't make one team when you're 12, 13, that's the end of your opportunity to be a professional footballer. I know for myself that there's times when I got turned down from teams, and I know it's hard necessarily to think that eventually you can maybe make it, but you just need to always enjoy playing, do it with your friends and everything like that. And just make sure you're really enjoying playing it, and then it'll take it from there.
Every day, I think, says that throughout their time when they get asked about advice and everything. If you don't enjoy something, it can be anything in your everyday life. It's not just related to football. If you don't enjoy it, there's no point in doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I feel as that's huge, especially for football. If you're not enjoying it, you're not going to be playing. You're not going to be playing well. You know what I mean? You need to be enjoying it to actually express yourself on the pitch and to make sure you're to play well in that sense. So I know lots of boys that probably just they still kick around with their mates even if they're not professional. I think that's something that I'd still do, and I wouldn't be. So I think that everyone needs to have that.
Yeah. What's the best thing football has given you throughout your life?
Yeah, I'd say just the people I've got to meet through it, the experiences I've got to travel a decent bit of the world, playing for youth teams in Canada. Of course, I've got to move over to Scotland for the last 5 or 6 years because of it. So football, and that's all just down to football. You know what I mean? I came over here when I was 18 to try and become a professional, and I've thankfully been able to do that the last 5 or 6 years. So just the life experiences it's given me is irreplaceable.
I just want to say thank you very much for coming along and doing this interview with me. I wish you all the best for the season ahead, and obviously wish you all the best as well for a cup game, because it'll be huge, I think, for the club and yourself as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Perfect.